We have a full look at the Batcave in the Batman 2022 thanks to a new tie-in with Oreo here in Europe. They have released a website that allows you to walk around the Batcave from the latest film, and it gives us a much better idea of what kind of base Bruce Wayne will be spending time at. It also revealed a new track from Michael Giacchino's score, and I must say it sounds pretty incredible. And then there's the revealed age range that for some weird reason has caused controversy, and I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on that in this video too. The link to the Oreo website is in the description of this video, but right now from what I know, this is only available to look at in certain European markets. Still, I'm going to be discussing images from the Batcave and everything found in this virtual experience, as there's some cool things to point out. But before I get into all of this, if you want to see much more videos on the Batman leading up to its release date, including the continuation of my Road to the Batman series, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's discuss the Batcave and the other new details for the Batman. So director Matt Reeves seems very positive about sharing new information surrounding the Batman, a film that will see Bruce Wayne, who's relatively new at being the Batman, dig into a series of tragedies in Gotham. Getting increasingly frustrated by the lack of progress, Paul Dano's The Riddler forces him to further explore the ongoing corruption in Gotham, something that his own parents could have been involved with. And recent teasers have put on display the further relationship between Bruce and Selina Kyle, alongside more of the Riddler's growing plan to exploit the city. But with Warner Brothers obviously beginning to build up the promotion for the film, releasing Lego sets and other figures inspired by the movie, a newly released Oreo site allows us to have a full virtual experience of Robert Pattinson's Batcave. Since Oreo created the page to target European fans, it doesn't load elsewhere. But don't worry if you can't access it, because I'm going to be discussing the images from this new Batcave and breaking down what was revealed within the interior. So coming to these details, while the trailers and teasers for the Batman have featured brief footage of the new Batcave, ones which were establishing shots that included Bruce Wayne, this marketing site really is the first time that it's been properly revealed. Looking closer at how it's all presented, it's noticeably a much simpler version than previous takes on the Batcave, especially when looking at Affleck's one in the DCEU, which was larger and had a lot more tools. But this was for an experienced Batman that had been doing this for a long time, so it worked with that particular adaptation. And this new Batcave being a much more bare-bones take, almost simplified within the details of its location, makes complete sense considering that Robert Pattinson's Batman is just 2 years into his time as being the Dark Knight. This means that he hasn't made significant upgrades to his own headquarters. It's almost being used as a garage holding the Batmobile, Batsuit and Batcycle, where he can upgrade them himself. In this virtual experience, we also see many desks and computers within the grimy location, almost a reflection of the Batcave from the Arkham games. But this isn't a traditional cave as some of the previous adaptations focused on. Once driving through a cemetery, the Batcave is found in a disused train depot, which is what the tracks on the floor suggested in previous trailers and footage, and also with Wayne Terminus being found up on the archway. So it's essentially a prototype Batcave for Bruce, one that is only being used while he is evolving into the Batman we know. I would predict that maybe he'll eventually be in that famous Batcave under Wayne Manor as the films go on. Maybe even at the end of this film we could see that happen. It's also worth noting that a previously released Lego tie-in for the film suggested that the Riddler will be able to access this new Batcave. It's unclear how he's able to gain access to it, or what his intentions are if this does in fact happen in the film, but it supports the idea that this is nothing more than a makeshift headquarters for Bruce Wayne to begin with, and the low-tech, simplified look in this tie-in only confirms that. As time goes on and subsequent The Batman sequels are released, expect it to have additional elements, which could also be a visual representation of the Caped Crusader's personal arc that is deeply explored. It was also in this Batcave marketing reveal that they teased something else within the virtual tour that you could activate. You can find a speaker in the Batcave that once activated plays a track from Michael Giacchino's score from the film. This will be linked in the description if you want to listen to it, as this video would be taken down if I posted it here. But after listening to the track itself, it evidently includes segments of Ave Maria, along with the Batman theme that has been previously used in most of the marketing. And it sounds like it's going to be a thumping score from the composer. It sounds very psychological and epic, but also includes gentle notes in moments to reflect the somewhat psychology of Bruce Wayne in this new Batman film. I totally recommend checking it out for yourself because it really took me by surprise. And some of the other interactive elements in this Batcave gave us full 360-degree looks at some of Batman's already mentioned tools. We get 3D models of the Batsuit, Batcycle and Batmobile within the headquarters, along with a brief look at a portable gym that Bruce Wayne uses. This does remind me slightly of Affleck's gym in Batman v Superman, but I'm guessing there will be a bigger one once he eventually upgrades. Whether that's in this film or down the road is yet to be seen, but I do really like how this whole Batcave is communicating the Year 2 Batman that the filmmaker is going for. It's all about bringing us a different take on the character and not doing the same thing that's been done before. Everything is upgradable and in its basic stage, leaving room for the true Batman we know to come into the picture down the line. Coming now to the final piece of information that I wanted to discuss, though there has been previous rumours that Matt Reeves' take would receive an R rating, fueled by the violent scenes we saw in the Batman trailers, the film ratings board has confirmed that it will in fact be a PG-13, just like Tim Burton's Batman films, Joel Schumacher's ones, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, and Zack Snyder's theatrical version of BVS, which had Batman as a central character. The website describes the film as having strong violence and disturbing content, drug content, strong language, and some suggestive material when listing the rating. So we can still expect the Batman to pack a violent punch. The movie hasn't yet been rated for the UK by the BBFC, but a PG-13 rating usually translates into a 12A or a 15 certificate. So what are my overall thoughts on this? Well, it seems there are a few people upset with this rating, and I can't quite understand why. First of all, a rating does not equivalate to the quality of the film. Second, if we look back at one of the most complained 12A ratings in BBFC history, which was Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, that film was given a 12 and it included scenes that bordered on being a 15. Whether it be the Joker smashing someone's face through a pencil, scenes that showed murders, or even Harvey Dent's face burning in half. This film again received a 12 and was very close to receiving a 15. Not to mention that to this day, it's known as one of the best comic book movies of all time, and it's considered more of a crime thriller than a superhero movie. A film can be an extraordinary one that borders on the edge of a 15 rating. The rating at the end of the day does not matter if the film is, for one, good and can communicate all the darker elements we expect and know are coming. So quite honestly, I don't know why people are getting pissy over a film rating. Some of the best movies of all time have been a 12 and still featured extremely dark moments on screen. So I'm expecting the same for the Batman, and Matt Reeves has said that this is going to be the ultimate psychological test for his character. So let's see what happens here and not judge a film because it's given a 12A or because you personally wanted it to be a 15. It was never going to be, but it's still going to be a dark Batman film. It will still push those boundaries as said by a lot of the people working on it. But of course, we can't judge any of this until we see the film this March. But that was our first big look at the Batcave, along with my extended thoughts on the PG-13 rating that the film has been given. Again, I love that this Batcave is more of a starting point for this Bruce Wayne, connecting to how his Batsuit is also just in its foundational stages, and further how his mindset isn't one that reflects an experienced caped crusader. He's tormented, and all of his gadgets and props have to reflect this early stage Dark Knight, one that is still building in his physical and emotional state. And like I was saying about the rating, the film will most likely push all of the darker elements as far as it can, so it doesn't worry me one single bit. I guess we'll soon find out how all of this works in the film, and I'm sure a lot of this stuff will be developed as Bruce Wayne evolves throughout this potential new trilogy. But it does all fit in line with everything we expected and have been hearing when it comes to the designs and the type of film that Matt Reeves is making. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think towards this new Batcave, alongside what you are personally looking forward to seeing in Matt Reeves' upcoming film. So let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos surrounding the Batman leading up to its release next year, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.